Hey guys, this is Elliot Wave Sage. I want to do a quick market update. Like always, none of this is financial advice. Always do what's best for you. Just use this for your education and entertainment purposes only. So we saw a lot of choppiness in the market. This recent pullback, starting with the Dow Jones, is just the first, second wave two down, correcting this cycle. I was given this warning earlier in the week in my videos that this was coming. We did see that take place here and pull back. We have 5 waves down in this 2 waves, so either it's a flat correction and it's finished or about to finish on Friday, or it's, I could just kind of tweak the labeling just slightly and kind of change it, and then call this an ABC correction in the making. So I think it's just too early to tell which one we're going to get. If we could get something like this, or the correction's already over. And again, like I've always said, you're waiting for the dip, but the dip already happened and you missed it again on yesterday's major sell-off. But you did get a little bit more today in the Dow, in the indices here. But a lot of stocks were rallying already. You would have had to buy yesterday on close to get the lows, which is typical of this market. It's how this market has behaved. You have to really stick your neck out there. Nothing's easy. Now with the SPY, looks like we did top out here in 5. We're pulling back in 2. Again, we have 3 waves. This is a very shallow 4. So this 2 retraced the 5 and hits the 4 support. So you could easily call the 2 done here. And we're going to continue higher in wave 3 already. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. And if the Dow and we do want to double correct, perhaps we get a little more upside and then come back down later. So you still can't rule this out, but there's no guarantee that this 2 is going to extend. It may already be over. We just don't know yet. The triple Qs is the same situation here. Now this 2 didn't go as deep, so perhaps you can get another swing lower down in 2 here. But for right now, since you do see 3, we can call it finished here. If we also want to project a new target, potentially we get 450, 448 on the triple Qs as a potential buy opportunity later at some point next week. We'll have to keep an eye on that. If this comes, it may not happen. It may already be done. IWM's the same thing. It looks like we ended that swing here. We're bouncing in 3 waves, and then the market will either take another swing lower, like I showed you earlier, and come back down, or it's already finished, and we'll get 5 off the low. It's just too early to tell what's going to happen, but the direction's higher. This corrective structure is over. The Hang Seng should be finishing up wave 4 here. I call this wave 4. Again, it could be another 1-2, 1-2 setup. It does not have to be a 4 here. Let's take a look at how we surge. Yeah, we got a pretty good surge. So I still think it's a 4, and we should get a 5 and a bigger pullback. So I see this like sideways price action coming in the Hang Seng, something like that. But we should be bouncing from here to make new highs again. That's what I would be expecting. Bitcoin did hit the buy area yesterday, and someone asked me on Twitter, and sure enough, literally after, I think about an hour after I posted it, they approved the Ethereum ETF, and then the rest is history. So again, just the buys, you got to move. You can't dilly-dally. You got to know what you're doing here. So we should be coming out of this. And again, with a big pullback when this 5 is over, and then we'll hopefully continue to grind higher. Ultimate target is 80,000. That's what we're looking for, or higher. But does look like this 2 wave is over in this move down. If we did decide, there's always a chance for the double correction. The new target potentially and another move would be 63,796. In this area, the 62,491. If it does do that, if we make another high here, then I would say there's 5 up, and that's the end of the move here. I would call that 5 up, because we'll probably have divergence there. So that's Bitcoin. We're seeing some other ones I've been showing, like Link. Link is in a wave 5 off the low, unless we can erase divergence. I don't see that happening, so I see a wave 5 finishing up with another pullback come in, and then more upside eventually. Oil has been weak. It's been fooling a lot of traders. A lot of people are so bullish oil, and it just wants to grind lower, guys. But we haven't had that capitulation moment, wave 3 of 3 yet. But I believe that is coming at any moment, And perhaps next week we're set up for that with this 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 setup, if that's the case in the oil market and energy market. Silver's in a buy today on a 3-wave move. I'm going to call this another 1-2, but it could also be a 3-4. So I think we need more extension higher. Gold also has a deep correction. This one's a little different. I will call that one in a 4, and we need a 5. Again, unless we can erase divergence here. And then we did see natural gas take a dump recently. I think that too, we can now try to say that 2's in. Again, this lines it up with the oil market, which is what I want to see. 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. Looking for that 3 of 3 moment. Dollar index should be breaking down hard soon. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Again, we could still push it higher up to 105.9, but it could actually already be finished here, and we start to break down, helping the markets. The 10-year is already done 5, a counter trend up. I like to see it actually get up to 454. That could put pressure on the market to push it lower. If this last leg can happen. Now, if we could start to reverse hard, then the 2's in, and we have a big collapse in rates coming. Here, same thing with the 20-year, 4.756, and then we could see that reversal. So there could be more upside in yields, which would pressure the market typically. The VIX, we always keep an eye on the VIX. We finished 5 up here, and we now are correcting this first leg down. Could take another swing higher, right? I do expect at some point this W wave to end, right? This W wave to end, and when it does, then we should get a pretty nasty correction, a multi-month correction again, before we get one nice, like, really big rally. So we'll have to wait and see. I think the W still has more room to go lower before it finishes in the VIX, if I'm charting the VIX right. So I'm looking for like a 3, 4, 5. So something, we wick down into here, come back up, something like this is what I'm looking for. And then we could come out of this wedge. But you never know. If we did set the W here, then we should be looking for the VIX to really spike back to test this downtrend line. We'll have to wait and see how this goes, but I think it's got more downside in W, and this impulse needs more downside. But okay, that's those stocks. I'll just click to some other ones that we watch. We want to see Apple pull back in this wave 2. We're starting to see that. I want to see another leg lower, and then there could be a buy opportunity. Tesla is really trying to test people's patience. Right now I have this as this run in flat structure here in 2, as long as we hold 173.76. If that breaks, then we're looking at a 3, and then 3 down, and Tesla should drop to 155.56. TSLL will do the same thing. It would drop down to this low $6 area. But either way, I believe everything's supported. It's just going to test your conviction. But I believe Tesla's still okay. It's still okay. We are starting to see some of these green stocks pop. We saw first solar turn. I think there was some very positive news that dropped coinciding with a technical bottom in Plug Power. So there's a green complex. Tan may have bottomed potentially. So you've got this so maybe the Tesla will turn. You have NEO close to another wave 2 low or at a low. So you got these. So you got that industry, maybe too oversold. Tesla's I think is set up for a move higher. But keep an eye on 150, 56 if it does start to break down. Adobe's been, pretty much dead money for a while. If you're in Adobe, you're playing the long game. Another three-way move down in a 1-2, 1-2. So we'll just have to continue to wait and you have to be really patient in this to play out. AMD, I wanted to see this double correction, and I would have took that trade. We didn't get it. I'll keep the 155 target and just keep an eye on it. If we do get a dip to 155.19, I would like to buy AMD for this wave 3 higher, probably to 185 or even higher than that. If we can get that dip to 155. Nvidia worked out. My strategy with Nvidia, some guys like, what did I do on earnings? I was like, hey, if you are below all-time highs, you buy calls. If you're above all-time highs, you short it. So you went into earnings below all-time highs, although very, not a lot, but you were below, and that was the right move to buy calls. And that's how I would have traded it, but I didn't trade this on earnings. I do see it continuing higher. We did not erase divergence on the 4-hour, at least last I checked. As you can see here, we did not get that, so we are in a wave 5 still. We are clearly in a wave 5, in a 3 of 5. So this is interesting. Could this be a major warning sign for stock markets in general? Because, if Nvidia does peak in 5, that means we should lose this entire 5th leg in a very rapid fashion later in the summer. That's what this means. We run out of time, and we should get a big pullback. So this could change, market forecasts, because I can't see this falling and everything else running higher. Now we could see breadth improve and this take a breather sideways. Maybe, but I have to think the market, if this happens like I have shown here, the entire market will get hit pretty hard. That's what I would expect. So this is something that is a bearish this is bearish actually. So it felt good for the bulls, but overall market structure, it's bearish on in the June, July months. More like July months for the market, unless we get some really good continuation on that 4-hour next week and we break the divergence. That will be what bulls need to see happen. If we can do that, then we have another 1-2, 1-2, and it's just going to go much higher, guys. So we don't know yet, but this is the count as of now. Keep an eye on it. Microsoft, let's take a look how that's been doing. So we did dip down here, and obviously we're starting to come out in a new wave 3. Should continue to grind higher. Palantir is not breaking our pivot. I do want to see it break down to 1827 before I want to buy it. Shopify trying to hit to that $54 level. Magnite double corrected here, if I believe. So we had a 3-wave move, a connector, and then we double correct it. So for 4 here, yep, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we should finish this 5th wave, and then we should get a bigger pullback to give people an opportunity to get back in again. That's the idea. And this would be a lot safer because now you'll have clear 5 waves off the low and not a corrective structure. So this would be a safer way to get back in if this can play out like I've got it here. If Magnate can play out like I have it. Let's trade desk. Again, we were looking for this final wave higher. One more high potentially. And then a much bigger pullback. Again, unless we can erase some divergences. And we're not nowhere near that. Okay. I did GME MC in my last update. Fubo TV, it looks like we broke that pivot here. So this is a massive connector wave for this entire move. So really it's not buyable in my system anymore. It's in a death spiral lower. For whatever reason, it just isn't able to hold support. Now, I wouldn't be surprised again because this is so shallow compared to the move down that you don't get some kind of connector that does something like this, But I would say this is just dead money that will fail and go down to new lows below $1 in the future. I think you just have to see how this trades out, but I don't like trading it anymore. And that's off my watch list. Hollow did not break the pivot. It came close, if I remember. Yep. And so as long as it can hold this 156 level, it's still playable for an upside wave 3 potential opportunity. And maybe if we can get the GME AMC, the pump, we can get this thing to get going out of it. I do like this kind of wedge-like look here, depending on how I want to draw this. If I can draw it just right. There. Something like that. We may be breaking out right there. Finally breaking out of this pattern. So we'll have to wait and see if that worked out or not. Hood is pulled back in wave 2 here. May have finished. And then hopefully can get this wave 3 out. Saw First Solar breaking out here, guys. Very interesting chart. Now when I look at First Solar overall, here, you know, bigger picture, I always thought we were in some kind of massive connector because of how we bottomed. But you have to, you know, give it the benefit of the doubt for now and just say, okay, we're trading bullish off of 1165, given that what the price action that we're seeing. So we have to look at this as something kind of like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Let's take a look. Yeah, we're on the weekly. So let's see here. Actually, I do it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it looks like we just erased divergence. And so that gets rid of that. We have another 1, 2. And now we're coming out. Breaking this high is very significant, 318. Massive opportunity, probably trade over $1,000 in the future. And I don't follow this company fundamentally, but whatever it's doing, it must be really making it work as it's breaking out in 3 of the grand super cycle. And really surprised a lot of people, including myself. But 1, 2, 3, I mean, you know, it'd have to have a historic collapse if this is a connector now. It's just gone so far. It's more than likely going to take this high out. So I think this is how I'd play that. For solar, looks something like this for right now. And then I have shown plug, and I didn't, you know, really track the news. Just looking at the chart, you could see the massive downtrend ended in this WXY here, XZ, ABC, and then you finish it out, and basically came out of the downtrend right around here, and that's what we saw. I think we came close to taking that high out. That's what we really want to see it make take out this high at 521. So we'll need to wait and see. But I do like, again, this kind of like double bottom. We'll have to hopefully see it holds. It's definitely in our buy area. So we'll see if we can turn out of this situation. And then TAN, like I said, has this finished wave 5. I had finished at a target at 37. We hit 38.77, and that's it. So more than likely, if TAN is done, solar is good to go, and which is probably why for solar is getting support from this sector. BABA is pulling back in this wave 2 here. Baidu in a buy area on a wave 2. Neo using wave 2 buy area. PDD, we never got that pullback. I still expect it to come at some point. I just don't like how this corrective structure looks here. But you know, it's right. You know, if you're a bear, I just don't like chasing it. I worry when I look at this chart based on how this came down in this first leg, this three-way move. I'm just looking for some kind of rug pull. I'm just looking for a rug pull. I just concerned that it's not sustainable correction, but I can be wrong. We'll see what happens. And then I think that's all I want to say. And yeah, RK is another indication of not to get too bearish on meme stocks, because it did hit a buy area on here, and it's been supported. It should be turning higher in wave 5, or perhaps another one too. Okay, I think that's all I have for this video today, guys. Like I said, the market pulled back like we expected. So now I think we'll get in this relief rally, and either the 2 is in, and it's going to be some massive gains in the next 3 to 4 weeks that no one's prepared for, kind of like a blow off top almost, or it's a double correction, and we get that later. So it's tough to say. Whatever move is going to happen here should coincide with oil going down catastrophically, natural gas going down catastrophically, the 20-year drop, and all this kind of deflationary action, or maybe bad news is good news type action, or a CPI or PCE report that's super like deflationary by surprise, and then the market loves it, just like totally goes crazy, melt up, because it's just so bearish. It's, you know, we're trading like it's back in, you know, 2013, 2012 again, when like the really bad news meant, oh great, more QE won't end, and the market would surge on horrible news and for the economy. So perhaps we're going to start seeing the market do that type of price action, but it's hard to say exactly how it will play out. But I just like to buy things that have good setups, and we'll go from there. But and we'll see how things turn out. All right, guys, that's all I've got today. Talk to you later.